The NBA is facing a crisis that could mark the end of its golden era. With rising concerns over player movement, declining viewership, and a growing disconnect between fans and the game, the league's future seems uncertain. But what's behind this sudden downfall? We'll break down why the NBA is officially dead and why it might never return to its former glory.
The NBA's past glory. The early days of the NBA were defined by a raw, unpolished passion for the game. Players competed not just for championships, but for the respect of fans and peers. These foundational years saw the emergence of stars who brought excitement and authenticity to every arena. The 1980s ushered in a dynamic transformation. This period saw the intense rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, two icons whose contrasting styles energized the sport. Their battles became legendary, captivating audiences and creating a lasting legacy for the league. The 1990s introduced a level of dominance that had never been seen before. Michael Jordan's relentless drive and unmatched skill made him a basketball icon. His ability to lead the Chicago Bulls to multiple championships inspired a new generation, making basketball an international phenomenon. Each team of the present era carried its own identity. The Detroit Pistons imposed their physical style, while the finesse and rhythm of teams like the Lakers showcased grace. Every game was unpredictable, with different strategies and approaches adding depth to the competition. Coaches of the past were more than tacticians. They were visionaries who crafted systems that redefined basketball. Just like Phil Jackson and Red Auerbach brought innovation, encouraging players to elevate their performances as they revolutionized how the game was played. The NBA's earlier days perfectly blended grit, innovation, and ambition. It was an era that celebrated effort, teamwork, and creativity, leaving a permanent imprint on the sport. That history continues to remind fans of the league's extraordinary rise. The rise of super teams, killing competitive balance. In recent years, the NBA has embraced a new trend, forming super teams. These are rosters where multiple star players join forces, creating dominant lineups that other teams struggle to keep up. While such teams might look thrilling on paper, they have introduced significant challenges for the league. One of the earliest examples of this modern phenomenon was the Miami Heat's Big Three. When LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh teamed up, they became instant championship favorites from the 2010-11 season through the 2013-14 season. Soon after, the Golden State Warriors raised the stakes by adding Kevin Durant to a team that had already shattered records. Super teams have consistently outmatched their competition, making it nearly impossible for other squads to contend at the same level. The formation of these powerhouse lineups has led to seasons that feel predictable. Many fans lose interest in regular season games and playoff matchups when one or two teams are heavily favored. The sense of suspense wondering who will claim the title has been replaced with the expectation that the same teams will dominate year after year. Shaquille O'Neal has pointed out another dimension of this issue, saying on his podcast, "Everybody wants to be Steph Curry, but everybody's not Steph Curry, and that's why viewership is down." His observation reflects how the rise of dominant superstars, like Curry, with his unparalleled three-point shooting, has reshaped the league's dynamics, making it harder to connect with or find variety in gameplay. Small market teams face the most significant disadvantages. Without the resources or allure to attract multiple superstar players, these teams often struggle to remain competitive. The divide between franchises in major cities and those in less glamorous markets has widened. What made the NBA so captivating in the past were the close games, underdog triumphs, and unexpected outcomes. While super teams may generate exciting highlight reels, they often rob the league of its unpredictability. As the NBA continues down this path, it risks losing the competitive spirit that once made it a must-watch for fans across the globe.
The impact of player mobility on team loyalty. One of the most significant changes in the NBA today is how frequently athletes switch teams. In earlier eras, stars often stayed with a single franchise for most, if not all, of their careers. That stability allowed fans to build strong connections with both the teams and the individuals representing them. However, the modern era of increased mobility has fundamentally altered the relationship between franchises and their supporters.
Today, it's common for stars to leave their teams in search of better opportunities. Free agency and trade demands dominate the headlines as athletes prioritize personal goals and career control over long-term loyalty. While this shift has empowered them, it has also made it more challenging for fans to maintain a deep bond with their favorite franchises. Many feel disheartened when beloved stars depart unexpectedly. Supporting a team once meant following a roster that grew and competed together over several years. Now, frequent roster turnover makes it harder for fans to form lasting emotional connections. Earning contracts in the past versus now. In previous decades, securing a major contract in the NBA required meeting rigorous performance standards. Athletes had to prove their worth by achieving all NBA honors, earning all-star selections, or leading their teams to postseason success. Contracts were often viewed as rewards for excellence, with consistent winning being crucial to landing lucrative deals. The dynamics surrounding contracts have shifted significantly in recent years. Individuals can now land substantial deals even if their teams struggle or fail to make the playoffs. These changes have sparked frustration among fans and professionals who value merit-based rewards. Stars like De'Aaron Fox and Paul George have voiced concerns, highlighting that performance and team success are no longer central to determining a player's value. Guaranteed money has also influenced how athletes approach the game. In the past, many felt pressure to push their teams toward success because contracts were partially tied to results. Today, with guaranteed earnings, external motivation tied to winning has diminished. This evolving approach to contracts has also changed perceptions of young talent. Promising individuals who show flashes of potential often receive massive deals before consistently proving their ability to excel at a high level. While this ensures financial security, it has also reduced the emphasis on team success and overall competitiveness. Now, NBA athletes must rely more on their internal drive to reach greatness. Recentering the league's focus on winning and measurable contributions could help restore the competitive spirit that once defined its greatest stars. Overemphasis on three-point shooting. Basketball has always been a strategy sport, but in recent years, one style has completely taken over: three-point shooting. Teams now prioritize shooting from beyond the arc, attempting a record-breaking average of 13.7 three-pointers per game since the 1999-2000 season. The rise of analytics, which heavily emphasizes scoring efficiency, has significantly transformed how the game is played and experienced by fans. One major drawback is the diminished variety in play styles. In the past, teams showcased various approaches, from dominant post moves to creative mid-range shots. Players like Hakeem Olajuwon demonstrated masterful footwork in the paint, while legends like Kobe Bryant thrived with their pull-up jumpers. Much of that diversity has now been replaced by players camping outside the arc and firing threes. The repetitive nature of this strategy often makes games feel predictable and less engaging. Former NBA All-Star B.J. Armstrong summed it perfectly on the Hoop Genius podcast, where he lamented that today's players seem like robots running up and down the court. He added, "When I go watch the game, there's no more creativity, there's no more imagination."
His words echo the sentiments of many fans and former players who miss the artistry that once defined basketball. The game's beauty has always been in its balance, a dynamic mix of shooting, passing, driving, and defense. Over-reliance on three-pointers limits the creativity and flow that captivated the sport. Another downside is the risk of lopsided outcomes. When a team is hitting from deep, they can easily overwhelm opponents, but if they are cold, games often devolve into frustrating sequences of missed shots and empty possessions. This boom or bust nature of modern basketball can be challenging to enjoy consistently. While three-point shooting has undeniably increased the league's efficiency, it has also stripped away some artistry. Exploring ways to reintroduce varied strategies without discarding analytics could help restore the magic that once made basketball so compelling. Perceived decline in physicality. A standard critique is that the NBA has lost much of the toughness it was once known for. Compared to earlier eras, when physical battles under the basket and hard fouls were a regular part of the game, today's league seems far less rugged. Many fans feel the game has become too refined and lacks the same level of intensity. In decades past, players were celebrated for their grit and resilience. Matchups often resembled battles,
with stars like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone thriving in a more physical environment. These confrontations added drama to games and made every possession feel significant. Followers who loved that hard-nosed style now feel disconnected, believing the current game does not offer the same edge. Adam Silver has commented on the game's evolution, acknowledging that the physicality of the past added excitement, but wasn't always visually appealing. It de-emphasized the particular skill a player had and maybe weighed too heavily on physicality, Silver said, where a big, strong player could come in and prevent an incredibly skilled player from doing those kinds of things. These remarks highlight the delicate balance the league has attempted to strike as it updates its rules. Modern rules and officiating have significantly influenced this perception. Changes designed to protect players and encourage high-scoring games have reduced contact on drives and eliminated much of the physicality on defense. Once a core defensive tool, hand-checking is no longer permitted, making it harder for defenders to counter offensive players effectively. Therefore, the league's focus on skill-based play, including precision shooting and finesse, has also drawn attention away from basketball's physical aspects. This prioritization of creativity and athleticism has elevated certain parts of the game. For some, the emphasis on speed and scoring represents a positive evolution. However, others feel the absence of physicality has removed a layer of intensity that once made games unforgettable. Balancing physicality with skillful play could help bridge the gap between old-school and modern fans. Competition with football seasons.
One challenge the NBA faces is its overlap with football seasons, which dominate American sports viewership. From October to February, when the NFL and college football are in full swing, basketball struggles to capture the same level of attention. These sports command enormous fan bases, making it difficult for the NBA to compete during that period. Football's popularity is deeply ingrained in American culture. The NFL, with its weekly games and high-stakes matchups, generates a strong sense of urgency among fans. College football amplifies the competition, drawing millions of viewers through school pride and heated rivalries. During the NFL's regular season, NBA games often fail to attract similar viewership. For example, during the 2024-2025 season, NBA ratings fell by 17% across major networks, while the NFL posted some of its highest ratings in a decade.
Viewership data underscores the challenge. The NFL's Sunday games and college football Saturdays consistently outperform NBA broadcasts, leaving basketball with smaller audiences. This disparity becomes even more pronounced during marquee events like the NFL playoffs or college bowl games, which frequently align with major NBA matchups. Charles Barkley recently proposed a radical solution to this challenge, delaying the start of the NBA season by a couple of months. I think we need to seriously consider starting on Christmas because, listen, you're wasting your time going up against the NFL and college football. They own the weekends now, Barkley argued. We'd have the entire calendar to ourselves. This idea resonates with some analysts who believe avoiding football's peak months could help the NBA gain more focus and attention. Finding ways to adapt and thrive despite these challenges is crucial for the NBA. Whether exploring schedule changes or enhancing fan engagement during football season, the league needs strategies to maintain its presence and appeal in an increasingly competitive sports landscape. The NBA's injury problem. The NBA is grappling with an escalating injury crisis that threatens its competitive balance and entertainment value. Star players, often the centerpieces of their teams, are missing significant time due to injuries, leaving fans disappointed and teams struggling to maintain momentum. Big names like Zion Williamson, Kevin Durant, Ja Morant, and Tyrese Maxey have all faced lengthy absences this season, and the list continues to grow. Statistics reveal the gravity of the situation. Injuries have increased by 35% compared to the previous season, with star players missing over 100 games in just the first few months. The league's injury issue is not limited to isolated incidents, but has become a recurring trend. Teams have already lost over 686 player games to injuries, a dramatic rise from the previous year. These setbacks affect team performance and diminish the fan experience, as marquee matchups lose their excitement. The relentless NBA schedule plays a significant role in exacerbating the problem. With constant back-to-back games and cross-country travel, players endure enormous physical strain with minimal opportunities for recovery. The unyielding pace and the high-intensity style of modern play push even the most conditioned athletes to their breaking points.
Furthermore, the game's increasing focus on speed and three-point shooting demands more jumping, abrupt changes in direction, and aerial play factors that heighten the likelihood of injuries, especially among athletic, high-flying players. Pressure to perform at the highest level adds to the problem. Athletes frequently feel compelled to return from injuries prematurely, often worsening existing conditions. Even seasoned veterans like LeBron James, who aim to play an entire season, have struggled to stay healthy under the current system. To address the injury crisis, the NBA must rethink its scheduling, refine training methods, and manage player workloads more effectively. Prioritizing player health and well-being is essential to safeguarding the league's stars and preserving the game's long-term appeal. Decline in television ratings. The NBA is facing a steep drop in television viewership, a worrying sign in today's entertainment-heavy world. Recent data reveals that games are averaging only 1.4 million viewers on major networks, marking a 19% decrease compared to the previous year. For a league that has long relied on TV as its primary platform for exposure, such a decline signals the need for urgent change. One of the key challenges lies in capturing attention during an era dominated by endless entertainment options. Audiences increasingly prefer streaming platforms and shorter, more engaging formats. Traditional game broadcasts struggle to compete with the instant gratification of social media highlights or quick recaps that demand less time commitment.
Another obstacle is the disconnect between the league's offerings and fan expectations. Many viewers express frustration with drawn-out regular seasons that lack the intensity of playoff games. This reduces the urgency to watch games live, with some choosing only to follow the postseason. Scheduling conflicts add to the problem, as games often coincide with major cultural events or other popular sports like football. For casual viewers, these clashes make choosing the NBA less appealing, especially during critical parts of the season. Inconsistent player appearances have also contributed to declining interest. Fans eager to watch their favorite players are frequently disappointed when those stars are unavailable due to rest days or injuries. The unpredictability of who will play lessens the excitement of tuning in for live games. To reverse this trend, the NBA must rethink its broadcasting strategy. By creating fan-focused content tailored to modern viewing habits and improving accessibility, the league could reignite enthusiasm. Addressing these issues will help ensure NBA games remain a compelling option in an increasingly crowded entertainment landscape. Shifts in audience demographics. The NBA is transforming as it engages a new generation, particularly Generation Z. This younger audience, with its unique preferences and media habits, presents challenges for the league to connect through traditional methods. Many now prefer consuming quick, flashy highlights on platforms like TikTok and Instagram, rather than watching entire games. Their focus is on exciting moments, not the whole narrative of a season. Modern NBA players have become more than athletes. They are global celebrities with personal brands. Social media offers glimpses into their curated lifestyles, showcasing luxury outfits and behind-the-scenes moments. These posts often attract as much, if not more, attention than their on-court performances. Highlight reels, endorsement deals, and viral clips dominate their feeds, shifting attention away from team success and creating a league that feels fragmented into individual brands. The league's international reach has grown significantly. Star players like LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo boast massive global followings, turning basketball into a worldwide phenomenon. However, the heavy focus on individual marketing has reduced the prominence of the deep, team-centric rivalries that once defined the NBA. At the same time, the NBA faces increasing competition for attention. Younger audiences have countless alternatives, including immersive video games, esports, and digital creators offering highly engaging and interactive content. the organization must continue to innovate to stay relevant in this crowded space. Striking a balance between player-driven narratives and classic team-focused storytelling will be crucial for its future success. By producing content that resonates with younger fans while honoring its traditions, professional basketball can evolve into a sport that appeals to all generations. The NBA's future may seem uncertain, but one thing is clear: the league must make bold moves to win back its fans and recapture the magic of its glory days. What do you think? Can the NBA bounce back? Or is its best era truly was in the past? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more stories on rising stars and their paths to greatness. Be sure to check out the next video on the screen.